I'm basically recording this because 3 minutes is not a long time to be able to talk. And I felt like there was some, because I'm just looking at you. Okay. Coincidental issues with technology. At least that's what I was told by people who try to watch online. So I wanted to have a chance to finish my speech because I did get emotional and it caught me off guard and I didn't get to finish. So I also, it makes me feel more comfortable to pretend I'm talking to like somebody who's listening. But I do want to point out that that was hard for me to get up there and stand and speak for so many voices that I have heard from. And I was feeling that, like I knew I wasn't just there for my own personal feelings or agenda. I was there for a lot of people that I'd heard from. And I tried very hard to make eye contact with those that I was speaking with. And I am going to call them out. And I'm going to point out that neither Paul or Chad would look me in the eye. They actually didn't even look up at all the whole time I was talking. And to me, that speaks more volumes than any answer that anyone could have said in response to any of the questions that I propose, even though I was told they wouldn't be able to answer. But whatever, that's my disclaimer. And here's my speech. Good morning, and thank you for the time to speak. I'm a Sycamore graduate, a parent of aviators, and someone who believes in transparency and accountability. I understand that leading a district isn't easy. I have 4 kids, and if 2 of them agree on anything that I say or do, I call that a win. So I get it. Leadership is complicated. At my son's graduation in May, I watched many of you doing your jobs on that Cintas stage. But Ashwin Corattiyil stood out. He wasn't just present. He was proud. He knew all 418 students by name, by story, by family. So when Ashwin's departure was announced, it didn't just spark sadness. It raised a lot of questions. Students, who we often joke that by graduation have checked out, they, and don't care, they stopped and they wrote and they shared that Ashwin was the one who made them feel seen, supported, and safe. That's not typical teenage behavior. That's the response to losing someone exceptional. That kind of connection matters. And if it didn't before, it should now. Because that's the kind of leadership that Sycamore says that it values. When I asked why we would let someone so embedded in our community walk away, the responses were flat. Better opportunity does not explain Ashwin. He bled green and gold, an athlete, a student council member, a proud Sycamore graduate. He was an aviator long before he was an administrator. This wasn't just a job. This was his home. So when someone like that leaves, we should be asking, what's pushing people like him to leave the very community that they helped build? And this isn't just about Ashwin. In the 4 years that my son was at the high school, the administrative team turned over twice. We've lost multiple respected leaders, all with the same vague explanations. Most of these were not big promotions. They were lateral moves, some arguably demotions. That doesn't scream better opportunity to me. If Sycamore is truly the exceptional district we claim to be, shouldn't we be the better opportunity? This is not a staffing issue. It's a breakdown in honest communication, which leaves 2 possibilities. The board is misleading the community, or the board is being misled. When I posted my concerns publicly, I opened Pandora's box. Parents, staff, students messaged me story after story of things that they hadn't felt safe enough to say out loud. I read through district reports, and what stood out the most? A superintendent openly bad-mouthing his own team. That's poor leadership. That's a model of dysfunction. People told me they're afraid to speak up. Even my own mother was nervous for me to speak today, worried about what might be said or done to my children. For asking questions? That's what got me. I refuse to let fear lead. Board members, we don't expect perfection, but we do expect partnership. You were elected to represent this community, and with that comes the responsibility of oversight. I understand you're volunteers, and this isn't your only job, but there are people making 6 figures to lead this district. Who's holding them accountable? Right now, the district office appears anything but strong. It's presenting as unstable, fearful, and dysfunctional. That's unfortunate and it's unacceptable. The board must act now. Stop spending money investigating the damage and start preventing it. Because Ashwin's not just a loss, he's a symbol of a pattern of a district quietly losing its heart and calling it strategy. Show us that retention matters just as much as perceived reputation. Our community, our staff, and our students deserve the leadership that builds trust, not drives it away. A strong district is built by leaders who stay and the students who thrive because they did. We're asking you to lead with the kind of courage that puts the district above personal agendas. Thank you for hearing this with the same heart that so many of us are speaking from.